So you're up late at night and you're watching television and you flip through the channels and you stumble across the Food Network. When you stumble, does it pique your interest, or do you just continue to change the channel and keep going? Well, so for some people like myself, it piques my interest. So for me, I want to watch the channel, and it even influenced me to go ahead and go and become a chef. So today I'm here to teach you guys a little bit about some of the principles of the kitchen, some basic cooking techniques, and a few basic knife skills I'm going to tell you guys about today. The first thing I'm going to talk to you guys about today are the different methods of cooking. There are two different types of cooking methods, and there are dry heat methods and moist heat methods. And there's three different types of dry heat cooking methods. The first one would be roasting or baking, and those methods are pretty much cooking something in the oven uncovered while the dry air browns the food's exterior. So that would be why when you make a brownie or a cupcake, it gets golden brown on the outside, but the middle is still soft and flaky. Another dry cooking method will be broiling or grilling. And when you broil or grill something, you cook it over direct heat or like an open flame with barbecue grilling. And the third dry heat cooking method is sauteing. And when you saute something, it's like frying it lightly or to cook it quickly in some type of fat. And when they say fat in the food industry, they mean butter, oil, lard, or something like that. And then there's also three moist heat methods. And the first moist heat method would be poaching. And poaching is simmering something and simmering a food item in a small amount of liquid. And typically when you poach something, you want to use something that's going to import whatever you're poaching with a little bit of flavor. Like you can use a stock or wine or milk, and sometimes even water. And there's steaming, and when you steam something, you pretty much bring water up to boiling, and once the water boils, it'll start to emit off the steam, and you can use that steam to cook vegetables and pretty much keep them very fresh, but at the same time cooking them so that they're warm and enjoyable. And the third and final moist heat method would be braising. And when you braise something, you kind of start off by sauteing it, because you do what's called searing it on the outside. So you'll cook off all of the sides of the item till they're golden brown. And once you do that, you add liquid to the pan, and that then makes it braising. So once you add that liquid to the pan, you cover it and you cook it in the oven at a low temperature in a covered pot until the food's done to your liking. And when you braise things, typically you add in some different types of vegetables with the stock, and with the vegetables that you put in there, you might have to dice them. And that leads me into the knife skills part that I wanted to talk to you guys about today. I have here a little ruler and it's like some rules they give you in the kitchen. We get this in culinary school, and it pretty much shows you all of the knife skills that are used on the regular. Most people are familiar with what we know as a dice, and this would be a large dice. We have a small dice. We have a fine brunoise, which would be this one here, and we have a brunoise. And there's a couple other ones. There's a bâtonnet, which would be this one here. We have a julienne and a fine julienne, and all those three all look like matchsticks. And then for the fancy chefs, they do something called a tournée, and that's pretty much a 7-sided, about 2-inch long, 7-sided vegetable that's been cut that way. All of the different knife cuts have different dimensions that they have to go by in order for them to be considered correct in the kitchen. For the large dice, it's a square that's 3/4 of an inch by 3/4 of an inch by 3/4 of an inch. And then there's the medium dice, and is 1/4 of a size smaller than this, so it would be in 1/2 inch. And then we go over to the bâtonnet, and the bâtonnet is a stick that's 1/4 inch wide and 2 to 2.5 inches long. So all of the sides would be 1/4 of an inch, but it has to be 2 to 2 inches long. Then for the julienne, it's 1/8 of an inch, and the fine julienne is 1/16. And when you make those nice cuts, you can then turn those into the small dice, the brunoise, and the fine brunoise. Now, I hope today I was able to give you guys a little bit of insight into some kitchen terms and give you guys some basic principles in the kitchen. Hopefully I was able to educate you guys a little bit today on some of the things that may be a little interesting to you when you look at Food Network. So hopefully now today you'll go out and want to learn a little bit more about cooking, because everybody can cook. It's simple.